Okay, let's see how we would do this with iMovie. So basically I have the images here, so both what would be the video feed, and then each in this folder I've created a series of images that correspond to that. So if we kind of preview those, they are each of the different slides that we're going to be replacing. So basically going from the title slide, working our way through the scripture, and then to the title slide again. So what we want to do is have those available, and then the video here for video 1 is what we're going to do. So in iMovie, create a new movie, and we can drag in the files that we want. If you want to name it, the easiest way to do that is to go back temporarily. So I'll put it in with the date of the we're working with. And that was here. Doesn't have anything to look like. So we'll go back into the 15th is when this was. And so let me just clean this up by name so we can see them all. So we're going from this title to the title. Okay, I guess I'll just select them individually, drag them in. All right, so what I want to do is first of all, I'm going to zoom in here because I want to be able to break it apart from where the reading is. I do know this is quiet, so I'm going to turn the volume all the way up on it. So let's find where he starts talking. Okay, so he's done. So he's doing here. So we're going to take that, and we can right-click and split the clip, or Control B, or Command B. You can use the delete key to get rid of the other piece. I just want to grab the part where he says. So that's the point at which he tells which scripture. That's kind of helpful. So we'll split there as well. And then so up to here is where people stand up and he's getting ready to read. So we'll use the Command B to then get rid of this piece. And I'm using Shift Scroll to move forward here. So up to the part where he says, "This is the word of the Lord." And I'm going to split the clip here again. Let's zoom out just a little bit here. So what I want to do is I don't want the video portion of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to detach the audio. Over here, detach the audio as well. Let's see if I can get rid of just the images here. So I moved it over here because as soon as I select this and delete it, it's going to complain. I think there's a way with the escape key or the tilde key to move it out of there. But I don't need any of that. What I want in its place is to start with this, actually all of these. Put them in that particular order. So it's just a matter of how long. So the audio that will be behind it. And so this is, I don't know how long exactly. So this is when you start reading. So I think it goes up to right about there. That'd be my guess. Oh, right, and so there's this Ken Burns effect that gets applied, at least on my pre-settings here. So it's up in the crop. I don't want Ken Burns, which means it zooms in and out. So I just want it to be the full size of the screen. So going back to the beginning. So I'm looking for the end of the slide here by audio. Okay. So the last part has gone out, so I want to find out where that is. I suspect it's probably about that long. Okay, it looks like it goes to that point. So you can kind of see that as it's going to add a little extra space here for the transition. So probably right about there. This one's a little shorter because it's at the end. Okay. God. So that's as far as that should go. All right, so this would be the timeline, and then it's going to jump over to the sermon. But what would be nice is if this, we had a transitions rather than just going straight from one to the next. So we'll actually make this shorter. All right, so the most common one is going to be the cross dissolve. So we can actually select all of them that we want to do the cross dissolve on. And, okay, or drag and select them. Double click. And then what we have is if we start in the middle of one of these, rather than it fades. So leg up right about there. You can see it on the audio where Darren starts. So we'll split the clip there. Let's make sure that that's so we needed to start right at the beginning though. So we don't need the transition there, so I can delete that. Okay, so they both start at the same point. So kind of watching how the transitions here. But what we're finding here is these might be a little bit slow. So instead of doing a minute or 1 second, we want to do like 0.4 of a second. 0.4. And so that's good between the slides at the end. Second's probably just fine. So then what we need to do is find the end of the whoa, the end of it here. Do a little zooming in here. So you can use Control plus and minus on the next to the number keys. I do know that this one ends right at the end of the prayer. Otherwise, we would want to split that. So you can kind of find your way along here. It looks like right about there. You can actually put a marker there with the M key, like M for marker. And then we'll go back to the media. We want to get to this at the end. So this is a little bit different. We don't want to zoom in around. Pretty sure that's a default. Let's just check the settings here while we're at it. Yeah, photo placement. Let's do fit. And transitions, let's do half a second. Okay. You have the shift key and the scroll button, scroll on the mouse, will take it to the end. So we'll use this to fade in, but you can also notice that it's fading out over here too. So I think you just hold down, would be the, I believe, the Option key maybe. So you can do just one of those. So let's take a look. What we don't want is at the end it's coming back to the speaker. We can use the semicolon key to jump between different parts of the video. And then we need to go ahead and save it, export the file. So it's like 42 minutes long. And we're going to save it out to our drive. I think that's the right format, so we'll let that run and we'll take a look at it when it gets to the end.